We are live at Little Pine in Silver Lake. This is an extraordinary restaurant. Hello! Oh my gosh!
Jane.
How are you?
Great. What's so much
Oh my gosh! And I'm here with the amazing Dr. Melanie Joy, and we're going to go outside and talk to. We're going to be back and talk to you, but we're going to talk to some of the other folks here. This is an extraordinary fundraiser that's happening right now at the amazing Little Pine. And Dr. Melanie Joy is the person who is at the center. She has an incredible organization called Beyond Carnism. Thank you for speaking up, Dr. Joy. Tell us, what is your essential message? And I know that you are doing a fundraiser here. We have a matching grant of $100,000. We need donations to change the world. What's your message?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jane. It's amazing. I'm so excited to be here in LA and at Little Pine Moby's restaurant. It's just been fantastic. And so what Beyond Carnism, our mission is to expose and transform carnism, which is the invisible belief system that conditions people to eat certain animals. This belief system gets into our minds. It basically teaches us how not to think and feel when it comes to the animals we've learned to think of as food. So what we try to do is to help people reconnect with their natural compassion for animals, that compassion that we feel for dogs and cats, for example, and help them extend that to other animals, farmed animals, who have lives that matter to them too. And in this way, we help people to live more authentic and freely chosen lives and help reduce animal suffering in the world.
And of course, it's also great for the planet, great for human health, great for the animals. And here we are. I'm going to step away from you. You're the star of the show tonight, and show some of the other folks here. Moby, is there any way I could chat with you for a second? First of all, thank you for your generosity in providing this incredible vegan food and hosting this fundraiser for Dr. Melanie Joy. She was just telling us about carnism. What's the message you would like people to hear as we try to essentially change the world?
The message, well, it's a complicated, and this is a funny thing about being sort of like an animal rights activist, is there's so many ways to talk about the message. You can talk about health, cancer, diabetes, obesity, heart disease. You can talk about antibiotic resistance. You can talk about water use. You can talk about grain use. You can talk about rainforest deforestation. You can talk about so many different things. Many of us talk about animal welfare, but there's also the human aspect of it, is that by subsidizing animal agriculture, we're essentially subsidizing heart disease, subsidizing cancer, subsidizing diabetes, subsidizing rainforest deforestation, subsidizing antibiotic resistance, all these things that, in addition to killing animals, are killing us. And I think that's what a lot of people aren't aware of, is that animal agriculture isn't just bad for the animals, it's disastrous for human beings.
So what do you say to people? Because, Dr. Melanie Joy has turned the tables. She has described people who eat meat as carnists and said essentially their belief system is irrational, that our belief system of eating a healthy plant-based diet, and you have all this wonderful food that you've provided here that is not only delicious, but it's completely plant-based, that we're the ones who are sane and the rest of the world is insane. However, when you're telling people the world is round and you're living in a flat earth society, there are challenges. So what would you say to sort of like the dominant powers that still insist that somehow we're extreme?
Well, one of the problems that we have is that there is a huge vested financial interest in maintaining the animal agriculture status quo exactly as it currently is. All the people benefiting, whether it's the pharmaceutical industries, whether it's the animal agriculture lobby, they benefit from our sickness, from environmental degradation, and from the destruction of animals. What I would say to people, and I was having this conversation with Cory Booker a while ago. There's
Cory Booker, the senator?
Yeah. So there's the Martin Luther King Jr. quote, which is, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." I would add to that, and I would say the moral arc of the universe is long, but it also bends towards sensible reason. You think like 100 years ago, in our country, women couldn't vote, children worked in factories, African Americans and whites couldn't share drinking fountains, most African Americans couldn't hold elected office in certain states, gay people couldn't kiss, hold hands, let alone get married. And so progress happens, we just have to keep working for it. and we're fighting against a very, very affluent status quo who want to keep things exactly as they are.
Yeah, and by the way, we're speaking to Moby, and people here, Heather Lee says, beautifully said, Moby, and there are people joining this conversation. I don't want to keep you all night, but I want to say that you're on the forefront of this change, and you express it so eloquently, and really smart people still refuse to get it. That's what's so astounding to me. Processed meat was ruled by the World Health Organization to be carcinogenic. In other words, it causes cancer. And doctors still went on TV and said, well, everything in moderation.
The USDA, when they came up with the recommended food guidelines, they ignored the World Health Organization, which were drawing. The World Health Organization had drawn on, I think, upwards of 2,000 epidemiological studies. And the USDA, who worked for the animal ag lobby, said that the results were inconclusive. It was like a couple of thousand epidemiological studies. It's only inconclusive because it contradicts what's sort of lining their pockets.
Of course, and of course we all know that the USDA is completely controlled by the meat and dairy industry, as are many Congress members, and unfortunately the National Institutes of Health, and basically industry runs the government. But I just want to say thanks so much for stopping and talking to us. We're getting a lot of fabulous response. The USDA is corrupt, says Sarah Siegel. Is there a final parting word that you would like to say?
My final parting word is, let me think. Sometimes when talking about animal agriculture and the consequences of animal agriculture, the arguments that we have are so obvious that I feel almost silly saying them. But basically, by switching away from animal agriculture, we reduce rainforest deforestation by 90%. We reduce cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and obesity by 50%. We reduce antibiotic resistance by 75%. We reduce climate change by 40 or 50%, and we save trillions of animals. To me, it's the most self-evident, obvious thing that humans can do, both for us and for the animals and the health of the planet.
Well, thanks so much, Moby. And again, thanks for hosting this fundraiser for Dr. Melanie Joy, who is right there, and she has coined the term Carnism, and she also has a couple of really great books. Thanks again. We appreciate it. One of her books is, what's the title of that fabulous book? I'm sorry to interrupt. Why we
love dogs, eat pigs, and wear cows.
Yes, that's a great book. I hope you check it out. Thank you so much, Dr. Melanie Joy. And again, we are live here at Little Pine, Mrs. Vegan. Oh, where's Mr. Vegan?
Oh, he's parking.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to go in the party for a second, and then we're going to just wrap it up. But here's this incredible party. It's a fundraiser for Dr. Melanie Joy, and I'm going to end with my beautiful girlfriend. Say hi, Donna, snarky vegan. How's the food?
Delicious.
Absolutely delicious. And nobody got hurt, right?
Nobody got hurt.
All right, so I'm going to wrap from Little Pine. We just spoke to Moby and Dr. Melanie Joy. We are live in Silver Lake, California for an incredible fundraiser. I really hope you check out Beyond Carnism. Carnism.org. Just go online and type in Carnism, CARNISM, and it will come up. Dr. Melanie Joy is a Harvard-trained social psychologist. I think she is brilliant. I think she is changing the world. Together, we can make this a more compassionate world and eliminate that primitive belief system that somehow we have to kill a whole bunch of animals for us to survive. Bullshit! Signing off.